Lloyd, could you please explain how to make my clean and clear?
Oh, excellent, Sloane. Thanks for coming along today. Here's a sample pond here that you could have in your backyard. And the idea is to try to have surface coverage. So we've got lilies, and that provides a bit of shade, which reduces algal growth, and also oxygenators. So here's kabamba or foxtail, and there's ribbon grass, like this one here. And it's a really good one. The fish love to lay their eggs in it. The eggs stick to the leaves. Also having snails are a good idea. See, there's a number of these little pond snails around the pond. So they're just 24 hours a day eating algae off the side of your pond. So yeah, you don't necessarily need UV filters, and you don't need pumps and all that. You can create a natural ecosystem which makes a nice clear pond with a few fish providing nutrients for the plants, and the plants are sucking up all the nutrients out of the water, creating a balanced ecosystem. Thanks, Sloane. Come along and have a look at some other spots on the farm.
Some of the common problems that cause bad water quality.
Well, often people have too many fish in a pond, especially large fish. So as the fish grow in size, they're going to be taking up more and more oxygen, providing more and more nutrients. You're going to have overhanging trees dropping their branches in the pond, which are going to cause poor water quality. Algal growth. We've got to try to keep the algae down, and that's where we mentioned with water lilies on the surface, providing 1/3 surface coverage to try to reduce the sunlight for the algal growth. And just too many plants. So you don't want your pond overstocked. Whereas you see here, we've got oxygenators around the side, lilies, and an open space for the fish. And with all of that, that'll help manage the water temperature too, and you'll have a nice, clear, healthy pond. The first few weeks of filling your pond, the water becomes green or murky. But let it settle, let the plants and the fish fulfill their role, and then over time, you'll get a nice balanced ecosystem where you've got photoplankton, which is like algae, which then provides a food source for zooplankton. And the zooplankton is going to eat the algae, and the fish are going to eat the zooplankton. And that's sort of how the whole system all happens, and you get a nice, balanced, beautiful-looking pond. Here we have a pond which looked very healthy, but it's at the point of being unhealthy, that it's getting too crowded with plants. And so we're going to need to thin it out a bit. There's a lot of azula floating. I can reduce about 1/3 of the azula, take some of that out. That has a beautiful root on it, though, which is good food source for the fish. So the fish suck on that, and it's like getting the vitamin tablets for the day. So we're going to thin out the azula, probably thin out the lilies a little bit to create some more open water, and just check there's enough oxygenators under the ground. So the plants are going to reduce the proliferation of green algae, and that'll help us get a nice clear pond again. Okay, we need to be aware of pollution problems in ponds. So people who are using garden fertilizers in the area, with their spray residues. I even know someone who was spraying fly spray near their yabbies near their aquarium, and the yabby died. And they put it down to the fly spray. Overfeeding, that is a common problem that causes ponds to become unbalanced. So careful not to overfeed. And if you do, having yabbies in your pond, they actually eat up any excess food. So that's an example where yabbies are great as part of an ecosystem in a pond with the fish. A healthy pond should have things such as frogs, turtles, snails. Remember, frogs are vanishing all over the world, and we really want to encourage them in our backyard. And by having a good habitat, avoiding chemicals, and creating shady shelter positions, you can have frogs in your backyard, you can have snails, and with your family or your friendly dog, you may create a little eco-paradise somewhere in Australia in your backyard.